Long time no arc. How's it going? I'm over here. You could say I'm surviving the nightmare, as others might say living the dream. Not this guy. So, I don't have any real big ambitions on getting back into streaming, especially long plays, and I was a little reluctant to even start recording what I'm about to show you, but I'm basically just responding to some of the comments that I've seen from the views uh, that my last 40 days have generated, and I wanted to throw a little extra in there because I am currently online right now, and this is the first time I played ASA online. I'm here to tell you this community blows. The server to player ratio is concerning. And what it tells me is that people are just throwing money at these servers because they want to play the game their own specific way. But then when you join the server, nobody's ever on. It's I mean, it's confusing me to no ends. And more specifically, what I want to cover, having now, had a few months online, is running into, what should we call them? So Beach Bob is the noob. Let's say Uncle Bob's. The guys who have thousands upon thousands of hours in this game and are never shy to tell you. Uh, I, I, I mean, I like to call myself a perfectly respectable asshole because I joined a server that's apparently been around since Survival Evolved, and people were just going on and on about how the admin were like, they were basically the scrotum to the shaft for what they had to say about the admin. And long story short, the admin was, for whatever reason, just could not get Genesis to run right. And everyone was like, oh, I guess you've never been on a big server before. And I checked the next highest two Genesis 1 servers, and they were running just fine. So couple that with the fact that every time the admin shut their server down for maintenance, there was a rollback. And if you don't have Discord, you're out of the loop, but that's another story. So I had just transferred from the island back to Genesis 1. I was just kind of playing around for a little bit, and there was no heads up that the server was shutting down. So like you'll get in the little chat box, it'll say server shut down in 60 seconds, and then it'll count every 10 seconds. So there was nothing like that. I kind of just dropped out of the game, and then when I went to try to go join back in, the server was grayed out, which means it was offline. Their rollback pushed the game so far back that it erased my transfer. So my character was no longer technically on Genesis 1, but it also wasn't on the island anymore. So I lost months of work because the admin just could not get their shit together. And I basically voiced this to everyone, just telling them what had happened, and it's like, can I just have someone tell me, flat out, that these admin are not as cracked up as you're making them, or not as, what's that saying? Not as, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. They're not as, yeah, cracked up as you're making them out to be. Like, they're, at the very best, the feeling I got from them is that they were still in testing phase of running a server after X number of years apparently running servers for ASE and stuff. But so yeah, I made it very clear that I was not happy and that the admin people needed to stop giving people false impressions of what to expect when they were joining the server. And yeah, it didn't end well because I got banned. Nobody there to talk like an adult, mind you, just simply banned. So, all that to say, I'm here to show you one of the things that people literally ran me out of the chat for trying to tell them because I wouldn't flat out say it because people don't want to hear that shit anyways. So by default, Gen 1 is a no-fly map, meaning by default they have flyers turned off, flying mounts disabled. But you can still get on passenger saddles. So the Rhino has 1, Tapejara has 2. Just because flying is turned off does not mean you cannot fly in Gen 1. There are at least 3 ways to do it, and I'm going to show you 2 of them, and the third one is just kind of, I'm going to explain it to you. But on top of that, I'm going to go back to the island. This isn't the server I got banned from, by the way. So, and then I'm going to go back to the island, run the hard ice cave, because I've had some questions about online being different than offline, and you are right. So the frog is the new, what do they call that, meta? It's my new go-to for the hard ice cave online, and you don't have to mutate it, you don't have to do anything crazy. It's still just kind of like Terror Bird, except running the cave is a little more meticulous. So we'll do that on top of this. So what you do for the first method here, get your Tapejara, get it saddled up, change the follow distance from 3 to 2. That will just help you on takeoff. Get it to follow you, and by default you jump onto the front of the saddle, so you don't have to mess around with holding the command button or whatever. And then you just whistle where you want it to go. If you know that command on PS5, you hold L1, you can see my little slider on the belt moving over, and then you press down on the D-pad. And Tapejara will go to the green arrow, and then it will stop. The only thing you have to worry about is sometimes it will try to land, but if it does land, you just jump off, rinse and repeat. But even if it's going down to try to land, you can prevent it by just whistling back up into the air. So yeah, people wanted to get nasty with me, saying that Gen 1 is not, there's no flyers allowed on Gen 1. Like, they ran me out of the chat, and it's like, okay, bro. Like, all I said was, if you understand the Tapejara saddle, you can fly on Gen 1. And someone figured it out, and then I showed 2 other people, and they were both impressed. And it's like, yeah, just because I don't have dozens of thousands of hours rolled into this game doesn't mean I don't have things to teach people, because everyone just plays by what everyone else does anyways. I'm over here, you know, testing shit out. Now this is extremely helpful, especially in the bog. Now flying on Genesis in itself has a very niche use as it is. It's not a typical map. I actually prefer Gen 1. It's a very fun map if you haven't tried it yet. It's free, but yeah, for finding bees especially, just because you can take your time going slow, controlling your ascent, controlling your descent, and just circling the trunk of the tree. See right there, my tape tried to land, but you just keep whistling it to go around the tree. And the only thing you have to be mindful of is the Bloodstalkers, but that's why I have parachutes in my last slot. That does get a little tricky when you get dismounted. So look at that, there's a beehive right there. And then you just, I suppose I can give a little tutorial here. Just get in position. She might actually land. I'm just gonna wait. Nope. So you're obviously gonna want to try to dismount on the right hand side. And perfect. We'll go whoop. Heyo. And just like that, I can cryo her. And boom. So yeah, if you get grabbed by a Bloodstalker with the Tabajara, that's another video trying to explain, because immediately as you get grabbed, you have to whistle, follow all, and then you have to punch to get yourself unwebbed, and then you have to parachute out of range. So it's a whole thing, especially if you're way up there in the Titan trees, in the center especially, in that really dark green area there. It's like, I think, almost 1,000 meters to the top of the map on the bog. So yeah, if you're way up there and a Bloodstalker gets you and you can't whistle your Tapejara to follow, I always keep a pocket Bloodstalker on me just for that reason, but I'm not that far in this one yet because it takes a lot of blood packs to tame those. But since I'm here, let me give you a real quick crash course. So taming bees on Genesis 1 has proven difficult, and the method is easier with a bear, and it actually yields more with a bear. So just a quick crash course on that. A bear can get 15 honey every 15 minutes. So, you know, multiply that by 4 per hour. Well, actually it would be times 3, because when you own a single bee and turn it into a beehive, they produce 1 honey every 45 minutes. So with a bear, in 45 minutes, you can get 45 honey. In 45 minutes from owning a bee, you can get 1 honey. So, I mean, it's not even comparable when you find a wild hive like this to, at least for the first time, have your bear with you and do the secondary attack for the honey. Wait the 45 minutes, get 45 honey, put it on fishing poles so it lasts forever, and then if you end up failing to tame the bee, you have some honey in reserve. But the reason the bear is beneficial is because you can damage the hives quickly with bears, and they're usually low enough on the bog where you can just walk your bear up without building anything and then take it down to low health. So what you do is you build a 2x2 structure. I just use thatch. So 2x2, close enough to the hive. You do 1 full wall high and then do the quarter walls around that. So you would need 4 foundations, 8 walls, and then 16 quarter walls, 4 ceilings, and then what you do for the door is one of your walls, you make a door, and then you make another foundation, so that makes 5 foundations, a little hallway, so 2 more walls plus another door, and that is so the bee can't magically fly out. So what you do is, since you've harvested honey, once you destroy the hive, the bee will be aggroed. The trick is to use rare flowers, so you eat them, lure the queen into the thatch building or whatever structure you made it out of, close her in, and it helps if you use one of the... Well, what I do is I just leave the whole back wall out, and then I put the walls in my belt for quick access. And then I lure the bee in, pop the last 2 walls in, she's trapped, I go through my hallway, get out of render distance so she de-aggroes, come back, drop a honey. Now you need to be in full ghillie, and you also need to have bug spray. So you drop a honey, go in, it's literally a game of speed. So I think she starts aggroing within like 13 meters. And a nice thing about this is you can do rally points and stuff. So once you get within 13 meters, you literally just throw the honey down, sprint into the building, and make sure that the flowers are in the last item slot on your belt. And you just spam triangle until she's tamed. And if it doesn't work, you've got to reset, do everything over, go out of render distance, come back, spam, drop the honey, and yeah, rinse and repeat. So that's one way to fly, and again, that's more conducive to the bog than anything else. But now we will go to, we'll go center.
Preparing to teleport.
Now we'll go to the ocean. And I didn't play ASE, so, well, I played the island on ASE. That was the only free map other than the community maps like Fjordur, Lost Island, those ones. But none of the story maps. So I never got to see Gen 1 how it originally was designed, and people have been saying that the ocean is a
Teleport
letdown
now.
for ASA. I mean, I don't have a comparison, but just
Here
from
we
my
are,
own
right on target.
kind of critical eye, I think the islands could afford to be at least twice as big as they are. If not, if not bigger, then they need to be half the distance that they are from each other. Because it's insane trying to get around anywhere without a freaking uh, sail or pirate ship. So, in case you didn't know, where other maps you have certain, we'll call them king dinos, like king of this map, or that map, whatever. Kangaroos are easy to tame, and they're actually faster than RGs because the jump covers a long distance. I think it's like 150 meters on flat ground. And the moment you land, you can just rinse and repeat, keep doing that. And even if you're too heavy to like, as long as you can sprint, or sorry, as long as you can move your kangaroo, it can do the jump, which means it never slows down from being overweight unless it can't move. So yeah, kangaroo for the win on Genesis 1, starting out especially, but overall, mobility wise, uh, it's unmatched by anything across the board, we'll say. And you just jump 100 meters away from whatever was attacking you. In this case, it's a Mega Raptor. Oh, pretty quick, are ya? Did you just get me stuck? Son of a bitch. When in doubt, don't panic. So let me get to a vantage point here. Yeah, it's a good thing that you guys that actually happened so early on because that was the problem I was running into the most doing the hard ice cave online was literally getting meshed into the wild dinos inside the cave because the rubber banding is so bad that you're not actually where it shows you you're at, and then it snaps you back, and then a lot of the times you're stuck inside some other. It's for me it's almost always a Perlovia. Not to say I'm stunned or anything, but like for whatever reason I just get meshed into them, and that's the problem.
Hey there, mate.
So I have a workaround for that. But here's the second strategy for flying. You give yourself what is that? A mess? No, it's a. The hell is that? Pithecus. What? Gigantopithecus. I keep wanting to say mess or Megapithecus, but that's the boss. Okay, and then you get yourself a fox. If you've seen Harry Potter, it's actually an Archaeopteryx or something like that. I don't know how you pronounce the name, but there it is. If you need to look it up, Archaeopteryx. And this is it's a parachute, basically. So anytime your feet leave the ground, it keeps you hovered, and it says it slowly loses altitude over time. As you can see here, I am kind of lowering, but it's so small over a long distance that it rarely ever brings you back to the ground. So this is what we'll do. Turn tracking onto Kong Island here. And then the secondary attack for Gigantopithecus is actually to throw you for a little, have a little catch, have a little game of catch with Dad. And Dad went for milk and never came home, so you're kind of, you just keep sailing and no one's there to catch you. So, you just aim where you want to go. You can go to first person to see specifically, but once you get the crosshair up, you hold it, and you just let go to let go, and as you can see, as long as you don't try to go backwards, you will not lose the speed at which you've been thrown, And if you see up there my Kong Island tracker, it's roughly 100 meters every 5 seconds. So this is actually faster than a PT, which is the third strategy or third loophole for flyers on Gen 1. And what you do is it's the grappling hook trick. So you just get your PT in the air, use a grapple hook, but that's my least favorite, and it's probably the least effective. So, but it's nice because once they took their heads out of their asses with the whole needing to have a cryo fridge within range of deploying cryopods, now you can just bring your Pokemon with you, and once you get to an island that doesn't have a teleporting location, you cryo your Archaeopteryx, you take out whatever dinos that you brought to, like, get around the island or kill things. I bring these for alphas, and I actually want to showcase these because I had someone saying that they're useless, and that just blew my mind. It's like, I don't even know where to begin with that. I kill Alpha Rexes with first generation fully imprinted Raptors, just a pair of male female mate boosted 100% imprinted Gen 1. Is that a pirate ship? Yeah, that's an enemy pirate ship. I haven't actually encountered one yet, so I don't know if it's an instant death or what when you don't have the DLC. But yeah, so I kill Alpha Rexes, you heard that right, with Raptors. And I kill Alpha Carnos, and Alpha Raptors are, I mean, it's like a shrug of the shoulders. It doesn't matter what level they are. The rate at which Raptors hit, and I have a test dummy at my other base in the island, and maybe I can show you just a little bit there, but like, it's just the fact that they hit so fast, they can do so much DPS, damage per second, not damage per hit. And I think these ones hit for 400 when I'm mounted, but they get like 4 hits in per second, so it's literally 2,000 damage per second. Now this seems slow, but look at my Kong Island tracker. That's because we're 5,000 meters away. I want to say that's the entire size of the island map from land corner to land corner, not like ocean corner to ocean corner, so not the edge of the map. But as you can see, we've hardly lost any altitude, and I can steer left, I can steer right. As long as you don't try to backtrack, you won't lose your speed. And I don't think we're high enough to make that. Yeah, actually, I think we are. The nice thing about these, I mean, they were more useful in ASE, and you actually use square to land. Well, you use square to take off the hover ability, and then you can pick it back up by pressing square again. So we'll jump. Okay, I'm up in the air, then I'll hit square, falling, hit square again, and it starts to catch you again. Actually, I don't think it catches you again. Please make that. You can do it. Nice. Just enough. It's almost like I tried that. Okay, and then once we're here, we just go ahead and pop her back into the ball. Throw out whatever I'm going to be using. Okay. And yeah, for verticality purposes, again, kangaroo. But that's the gist of it. I was gonna say something when I landed up there. Oh yeah, about the Archaeopteryx and ASE. So the nice thing about them is that their weight stat doesn't mean anything except for stuff that's in their inventory. So you can weigh as much as 1,000 pounds and be riding an Archaeopteryx with 39 pounds worth of weight, and it won't have, it'll still stay at 0 while it's holding you up. So that's a nice thing, but more importantly, their movement speed is directly attached to whatever speed you leave the ground at. So in ASE, you could bump your movement speed. So if you were just running on foot and jumping, you were flying as fast as you could run. That was basically how those worked in ASE. But here you need some little workarounds. And I know that the new octopus from the DLC can throw you too. So there's different ways to get launched, because mammoths can do it as well. But just for the easy thing, the easy, what do I want to say? The easiest method would be the Gigantopithecus. Okay, so we'll go back, recover
Preparing to teleport.
Gigantopithecus, transfer to the island, and we'll get the juicy stuff underway. So the two things were grabbing drops inside caves once you have everything aggroed to you. I'm assuming it had mostly had to do with the hard ice cave, with that question on how you're supposed to
Teleport activated.
grab the drops when everything's aggroed to you.
Coordinates confirmed.
And then the
Teleport
other thing is
complete.
obviously being able to speed run it with a Terror Bird, which it's not. It's possible. I won't say it's not possible, but it's not as flawless as you saw me doing in my video on single player. There's so much rubber banding in caves. It's nigh unplayable trying to do it that way. So I feel like I covered the bigger issues with Gen 1 and Uncle Bob's trying to give you their thousands of hours of knowledge nonsense. And it's like, no, you can't fly here, actually. This is a no-fly map. It's like, okay. Alright, Uncle Bob. Whatever you say. And right there. And I suppose you could use the grappling technique with the RG, but you mainly fly for speed as it is. And I would imagine you only fly for speed on the island, so... Actually, I'll ride you home.
Coordinates locked. Time to teleport.
What do you got? 4 levels? Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to do anything with that yet. So once the transfers open up, I think it said September 4th, you can bring your Rhino into this map, and their normal flight is slightly behind the speed of a PT, but they can fly for longer distances and they have a higher weight stat. However, the thing that sets it apart, obviously, is that you don't have to use the grapple hook technique to fly that fast. And like I said, the Archaeopteryx with the Gigantopithecus is faster, so I mean, but if you want to have that luxury of just controlling where you go and not having to worry about losing speed and all that stuff, then yeah. Once those open up, the transfers, you just get on the passenger seat in your Rhino and do the same thing you saw me do with the Tapejara. And you can get from island to island like that. That's originally what I used the Tapejara for, until people were like, man, I can't find any bees, like this Bloodstalker is just not it. And they were right. The Bloodstalker kind of sucks at finding beehives. I speak from an online perspective here, people, with high ping and insane rubber banding that make your ability to use the Bloodstalker effectively pretty much non-existent. You can't use it effectively. So we got the bog, utility, and we'll just do general there. Okay. I don't know how long this video is going to run. It's probably going to go past the hour, and then I'll finish up with another one. If you made it this far, I'm grateful as always. I have noticed that longer videos fail to keep people's attention, even if it's for what they came looking for. So this will reach very few people, but the ones who need it will find it, and the rest will be history. I have found chibis to be the most frustrating thing to transfer when transferring between servers, because I think I lost mine from transferring to the island, because I think I brought it with me. Not in there. Oh wait, nope, there it is. See what I'm saying? It's just easy to lose sight of that. Okay, everything's in you. Let me grab some food. Oh, and actually before I do that, I'm so happy this thing was free and not a Fantastic's Tame type of thing. Because this is the equivalent of raw prime for herbivores. And not all herbivores take it, which is kind of disappointing, but it finally bridges the gap between rock carrots, or any vegetable, and kibble for herbivores. So it's not as effective as kibble, but it's more effective than vegetables, which is a game changer. Okay, everybody's put away. Looking good. I don't have any shoulder pads. Nope. Okay. Bulb.
Teleport ready. Teleport activated. Teleporting always makes me a bit dizzy.
Where? I always lose that. Dodo. Oh, I think it's over this way. Technically, it's the closest terminal to a teleport zone. Northeast Bog, so that you can transfer. But sometimes there's raptors just chilling over here. Which looks like I'm good. Now there is a little problem when transferring if you've just gotten any hexagons. So give it like 30 minutes between getting any hexagons and trying to transfer. Otherwise it will say, sorry, can't do it. You're trying to duplicate hexagons. Nice. Pretty smooth. Alright, we'll go. I think I'm at the cliff. Cool. Oh. Alright. Let me just get outfitted from the transfer. I want that. I shouldn't have to change much. I don't even think I have to swap anything out, honestly. Why did I do that? Look at that pike. Oh, that just reminded me. Nice. Sometimes I'm glad that I wander like that in free thought. Okay, so that's all good. I need my sleeping bag. Alright. So, let's see. Well, we won't be able to do it. Actually, I'll just go with Alpha. Hey, free kibble. Not really, but... Wait for me! Don't go anywhere. Oh. Gimme. And might as well. Free food. This says it all, folks. It is that bad that I actually put it on my billboard. I have been to at least a dozen servers that started with, we'll say, 5 to 8 people, and over time they just, nope, they gone. Okay. Hey. Structures are in here. And saddles are in there. I'm gonna grab one piece. Oh, I already have one. Alright, so let's just get the star of the show. Cave frog. Let me show you the DPS real quick. Where's my raptors? Right here. Alpha right here. Oh, and for the egg farm, I learned that the radius that these guys pick eggs up is like 12 meters at the most. So any eggs that drop inside 12 meters will fall into their range, even though their egg icon thing goes up to like double of that distance. I don't get it, but alright, so let's see if he's close enough to be mate boosted when he comes out here. This is a wild tamed raptor. No imprints. Okay, he's out of love range. But that's the alpha shriek. See that? We'll say 3 hits per second. So that's 300 damage per second. But I run them in mate boosted pairs. So there's 2 raptors. And it's so easy to come across higher saddles for raptors that taking on alphas is it's no contest. I'm half tempted to go and find one just to prove my point, because there's probably an alpha right down the hill from me. There almost always is. But, oh yeah, I wanted to show you this. I don't know what the max rates are on this server, but there's no mods and it's pretty close to official settings for stats and things like that. But check this out. Now granted, my melee is at 200%. I just like to do that for the sake of alphas. But that also gave me another idea for frogs being an effective mount against alphas. Because if I can do 2,000 points per hit, I'm doing 4,000 per second. Okay? And Alpha Rex, there's actually there's a trophy inside here. I want to say it had 55,000 health. So that means I only have to hit it 13 times. Granted, in the face. But, yeah, 55,000 health. Anything will work. Shotgun. But yeah, just riding a frog, since you don't have to worry about friendly fire, like shooting it in the head accidentally or whatever the case. Riding a frog just has so many versatile uses. It's crazy. So let me go fly around, see if I can find an alpha close by. I'm not going to go on a crazy trip. I do kind of want to show you my ocean base, because I put a lot of work into it, but I'm not that kind of guy. Alright. Sometimes they like to be down here. Do we have any alphas in the area? Not that way. I didn't see anything. Where did you go? There it is. Yep, nothing over there. One more spot to check. If you like the color of my bug, just know I always use Calicotheriums, because this is my own biased opinion based on multiple experiments. Calicotheriums have the best color palettes that work well with the bug's color palettes. Because I hate nothing more than to get a perfectly statted bug or a high stat bug with vomit colors. Not like necessarily the color of vomit, but like purple, orange, yellow, green, cyan, black, white, magenta, all on the same bug. And I see that shit all the time from like Rexes and things like that. Okay. Not seeing any alphas. Okay, so we'll scrap that. Just take my word for it. Use mate boosted imprinted raptors and you will not be sorry for easy early access to killing alphas. Uncontested, mind you. Because the raptor buff doesn't just give it a faster attack rating. It increases the damage, increases the attack speed. Oh, is this an alpha? Wow, what the? Would you look at that? And it's a level 30, not bad. Okay, let me put a rally point right here. Where am I? I'm lost. Oh, it's right down there. Sweet. So it looks like this video is probably going to take up the first chunk of the hour, and then I'll probably just make another one strictly of the cave. But these two I have set off to the side. Who's the alpha here? It's always a higher level that's the alpha. This one's not imprinted. Oops. But Flo... No, she's not imprinted either. So yeah, these are wild. But we'll get half of the potential. Well, let's say 2/3 of the potential. Because they're mate boosted, and they will be pack boosted. So the only thing we're missing is the imprint buff. And common sense would have it, put your strongest saddle on your backup raptor, because you can't control where they go or anything like that. So before we engage, I want you to see how many hit points the raptor will have. Is this it? No. It was straight down from that. So it was over here. I know it was chasing a parasaur or something. What level are you? 138? Oh, that's a good test. Now obviously with just being wild tames, no imprints and stuff, Flo is not hitting for nearly as much damage as she could be. But it's also about the amount of damage that they can take. And this being a level 138, 180 is max on this server. Now the one thing that raptors have up on wolves is there's no cooldown for the pack buff. I think I see the alpha up there. So we'll get our bearings, get our stamina back up. Okay. I suppose I could have checked the health on that theory. That probably would have been on par with the raptor. Alright, so here we go. 28. I think you can check the dead body. See how it's doing 0 damage? Oh, that's not even the... that's not the alpha. I was like, there's no way. It was right under there. Is that it? Chasing the parasaur? Bro, this shit pisses me off. Did it run off chasing the... It didn't attack the Theory because it was just wandering. Did it go down into the swamp? Crying out loud. Nothing could have killed it. I know that much. Although there were 3 other people on the server. I would get that theory, but I'm really not that worried about the boss. It had to have gone this way. Everything over here is too chill. Nobody's freaking out. It is possible it could have despawned. Oh well. Another day, perhaps, I can show you. Or you can just take my word for it. Even if you had, if you had 100% imprinted, mate boosted, upped saddles, and I'm not even talking ascended or anything. Even if you had, we'll say journeyman to be safe. So purple, is that, oh there it is right there. Oh. Oh wait, passive. 10,000 hit points. You ready for this? Going from 5 damage to 3. And now we begin. It works really well if you have 2 tribe mates, but everybody I bring into my tribe keeps quitting on the first day, and it's like, what did you expect us to be? But the trick for the raptors, at least, is you want to get it sandwiched between the 2 raptors so that you just kind of ping pong it back and forth. I'll volley to you, you volley to me, so on and so forth. So let's see, we had 4 seconds left. The timer runs for 45 seconds. So I killed an alpha raptor with 10,000 health in 40 seconds using wild tamed raptors. And they don't even have that great of stats. This thing has probably the 44 levels it gets from the cryopods in it. And that's only at 300 melee. And this one's only at 215. You can get better stats than that off of a fresh tame. So these were probably my first raptors. This one, I don't think so. I think one of my tribe mates was breeding this. No, he wasn't. So yeah, this is a wild. So yeah, there you have it. And I lost, we'll say 100 health. And let's see how much Flo lost. She took a beating. We'll say 250 against a level 30 out of a 180 max. Put you back in passive. Ah. So yeah, 2 tribe mates, 2 imprinted, mate boosted raptors, unfuckwittable, hands down. Yeah. I want you to stop. There you go. Did Flo get the kill for that? You little shyster. But if you're not running with a tribe mate, put the best saddle on your backup raptor and also prioritize health over melee. So I would do like 3 to 1, so 3 points in health, 1 in melee, or whatever ratio you want to go with. But just know that your backup needs more health than melee, and the one that you're riding needs more melee than health. Because again, you can control if you're getting hit or not for the most part. Okay, so now that that is all showcased, we're finally down to the juicy reason why you're here, getting an updated strategy on the hard ice cave. Oosh. Man, solo tribing the struggle is real. I didn't set these bases up, mind you. I started on the ocean with a tiny little setup. Had one tribe mate join who was a little too big for his britches and was like, man, I'm gonna start breeding for the boss fight. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna build this mega base and we're gonna have all the space that we need to do whatever there is that has to be done. And this is what I'm left with. Literally cleaning up after the friend who comes over and leaves your room a mess. Like, I put all these things in neat little circles and straightened up the structures and made well, I had to put half the dinos away because crazy tribe mate was popping out fairy eggs and Rex eggs left and right, and it's like, my god, there's only 2 of us, bro, and we're probably in the same time zone. But I said I'm not going to be that guy, and I've changed my mind. I am going to be that guy. There's my ocean setup right there. I built that on a raft. We'll go check that out. So yeah, it's a pretty neat build. Got some custom sails on there, and got a little ornament underneath the bow. Or is that the stern? I don't know. I'm just kidding. That's fucking DLC. That's a DLC boat. I'm not that crap creative. Fuck you and your money. This is me out here, a poor man's land right here. I do have intentions on building a nice little skiff on my motorboat. But this is just 4 individual rafts built up and combined to make an ocean base. Again, nothing extravagant. This is where I stored all my dinos, which was a total of like 12. And because I like to get out there and move around. I like to play the map. I don't necessarily like to play the game of Ark. Just a little quaint setup. Got the essentials. I would not. I would discourage you from using thatch if you're trying to build big and grand like this. I just happen to be in a really safe part of the ocean for some reason. Eventually, an eel will reach the surface, which is beyond frustrating because they're meant to be in the depths. And anything that hits the raft hits every structure on it. And since thatch only has, well, that's a ceiling piece. I had 1600. I think foundation has, yeah, 2400. I had to rebuild twice, but that was in the process of building, so I frequently had to go into the water. So as long as you never set foot in the water, you are A-okay. And thanks to the updated building mechanics for ASA, like, this I will argue in favor of the quality of life improvement for the predecessor to the original game. The building mechanics for this game are, I mean, they can give Minecraft a run for its money. So I built down from a raft and did an enclosure for an open ocean pen. Now, if you move the raft, they'll go right through the walls. But if nobody's on the raft, the walls are intact, so you can't go through them. And nothing can sense your ocean tames. I gotta readjust this guy. Through the walls. Hello, I gotta get off of you too. Did I actually put your face through there? So yeah, this was like the mark of my genius right here. Because then you got the dinosaur gate built in so you can get your tames in and out. And then for the smaller ones, I have the little side doors and bottom doors. Basically, you can, if you fall into the water, you can get in from any angle without aggroing things to your actual raft. And then just the little mobile bed. And then this one, this was the original ship right here. And we're down to the last minute, so I'm kind of just showing you what I got. This is where it all started. Just one little boat. And I was like, well, I need a little bit more room to store dinos. So that's what I did. But the next video, we will pick it up and make it all about the hard ice cave. So that actually worked out really well. But there it is in all its glory. 4 boats combined into Megadesk. Ultra Megadesk. So thanks for tuning in. Now it's been like 8, 9, 7, 6 months, something like that, since I tried to do my 40 days on Scorched Earth, and I ran out of steam. Like, not getting very many views doesn't really motivate me to do more, and not being able to play with people kind of sucks. So going online was sort of a disappointment, but I guess we'll see you at the next clip tackling the hard ice cave. Later.